Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. FPL Consult here. Hope you guys are doing well. Firstly, let me know if you can hear me alright, because this is again a different setup from usual. So please let me know in the chat if you can hear me well, and if I need to up the audio. And secondly, the stream screenshot that you see here on your screens is basically a kind of a snapshot. I would not be able to kind of scroll a little bit because again the setup is slightly different. But yeah, welcome to the Game Week 9 deadline stream. We are here again just before the deadline. I am slightly late. Usually I am 3 hours. I stream 3 hours before the deadline most of the time. But I am, as I've said in the videos, on a bit of a work trip at the moment. Today is the last day, so from tomorrow onwards I will be back at home, and I will be with my usual setup, so content will go back to normal. But yeah, for today, this deadline stream will have to double up as a bit of a kind of a team selection stream as well, because I didn't manage to put out a team selection video, right? So we'll see how it goes here. I just want to talk through what I'm thinking about my team at the moment, and also the transfers that I intend to make, because obviously there's a lot of news that has come out of today's press conferences. Son is injured, or at least he's not likely to start in Game Week 9, so that's a bit of a concern. And initially I did plan to do Havertz out as well, so that may have to change. But yeah, I mean, in terms of my team-wise, I'll get into it in a little bit. Let me just say hi to some of you guys in the chat. Please let me know if you guys are here. Please let me know if you can hear me well, if the mic is okay. Right, just drop it in the chat. If not, I'll adjust the settings a little bit. It is a slightly different setup than usual. Right. So grain bread pastry, always here early, nice to see you. Muhammad Hilmi as well. Nicholas, nice to see you. VJ, member in the chat, always here. Hi from a drizzly Watford. It seems to always be drizzling there, yeah? Ali says, yes, we can hear. Alright, that's good, that's good. If you guys can hear me well, that's good. Any news about Visa? Not that I know of at the moment. Not that I know of, but also I think I'm not super interested in him anymore, because I don't think I'll be selling Havertz. I have a little bit more of an issue in Son to deal with first. Triple captain survey, yeah, let's do it. Let's do a poll. I'll put it up in a bit. Jake says, hi guys, if I have 10 million for Son, who is the best person to replace him with? Right, so money wise, it's gonna be quite a stretch, right? If you want to get to, for example, for my own team, maybe I'll talk about my team first. I think the most likely transfer that I'll go with is Son to Palmer. Now, I'm not super happy with that move, but I feel like it's something that I'm kind of cornered into. I don't think I will be able to, get away with keeping Son on the bench. Firstly, because my bench is quite thin. If, for example, I have to start Trent, I wouldn't be super happy. And Semenyo against Aston Villa also does not really excite me. So I think Son to Palmer for my team feels like a bit more of a higher upside move as compared to keeping him. And then the other side of the coin is where, say for example, you are in a position where you don't have enough money to reach Cole Palmer. Who else can you go for? I think Foden is interesting. I mean, he did well midweek in the Champions League. But I would always worry. I mean, for the Southampton game, I think he would be fine, but I would always worry about the games after that. Is he going to get starts? Is he going to, keep his place? Because now it seems as if Pep wants to play him in a more central position. I don't see him, kind of starting playing in the left or the right wing as much. So if he's kind of in a situation where he needs to play in the central role, I don't think it's a case where his minutes are by any means secure. So after Southampton, I would start to worry already, in which case it makes me feel as if Foden is going to be a short-term move. So I really look elsewhere. I look even cheaper than Foden, for example. And I think Saka as well is a bit of a doubt now. For what it's worth, I think if I'm comparing Son and Saka, I think Saka is more likely to start. I mean, news is also that he's back on the grass, but Arteta is always very, unclear, and I mean intentionally unclear. So we don't really know much. All we know is that he has kind of trained. For Son, the thing with Son is he is, in a situation where Ange Postecoglou has said that it's unlikely he's going to feature. So if I'm to compare the two, I think Saka obviously has the better chance of starting, right? So if, for example, 10 million you want to go for Saka, I don't imagine you would, because this is the start of their tricky run. But Saka versus Son, I think Saka is more likely to start. If you look elsewhere, maybe Foden further down the list. I'm sure there's a couple other cheaper midfielders. If not, I think you can go for the kind of budget ones, the ones around 6 to kind of 7 million. Brennan Johnson, for example. All right. Lots of people in the chat. Very, very nice to see all of you. Son, good to play? I don't think so. Son is unlikely to start. Hi mate, good to see you back. It's good to be back. Frank says, yes, I can hear you. That's good. Tyrone, hello from Amsterdam. Nice to see you. Andrew says, the Son injury will mean I might have to play... Sorry, I will have to play the might of Eze against my 3 Spurs players. Time to roll the dice and start 8 Nuri over Gabriel. Yeah, I mean, I do think like it's not a Son is not a must sell by any means. Like, I don't think you need to sell him if you have a good enough bench. Rodgers or Garnacho to cover Son. I prefer Garnacho. If I'm buying one, I prefer Garnacho. Ali Max says, hello, with limited double game weeks, should we use free hits and bench boost on those double game weeks? Is Haaland worth a triple captain? My thoughts on triple captain this week is I don't think I would go there. I don't think I would triple captain Haaland this week for a couple of reasons. I think Kevin De Bruyne being out is a huge factor. In fact, I think in the Ipswich game, where Haaland scored a hat-trick, Kevin De Bruyne was very involved in that one. I would remember one of the true balls that he played to Haaland was kind of very KDB-esque. And yeah, I mean, that led to Haaland's goals. And obviously, Kevin De Bruyne is such a creative player that, him being out, Manchester City have really suffered. Now, obviously, they're coming off the back of a 5-0 win in the Champions League, so maybe they go on and smash Southampton. But I would think that later down the line, there will be better opportunities. I don't think that Haaland against Southampton is a must triple captain. In fact, based on current form or based on current team performance, if, for example, Palmer was playing Southampton at home instead, I would be much more comfortable triple captaining Palmer in that game versus Haaland against Southampton now with the current situation that Man City is in. So basically, I don't think I would do it this week. I think there will be better opportunities further down the line, whether it's Palmer, whether it's Salah, for example. Further down the line, there will be opportunities. Even single game weeks, like there are those fixtures for them. So I wouldn't go there. Let me just put up a triple captaincy poll, because I do think like a number of you guys are thinking about it. So are you triple captain Haaland this week? Right, let me know in the chat and let me know in the votes. What to do with Saka? I think if I had Saka, I'd probably keep him. And roll. Nicholas, nice to see you in the chat. Very, very nice. Hope you are good. I'm hoping for a Liverpool win. For what it's worth, I do think like the Arsenal defense at this point in time is going to be the weakest they will ever be. I mean, okay, not everyone is injured, but it's probably the weakest we're going to see them set up in maybe the past, I don't know, this season for sure, but maybe even you count the last, the second half of last season, I don't think they would field a kind of worse back four than this week in game week 9. Reason being, Saliba is suspended, Calafiori is nursing a little bit of an injury, and Timber, you don't really know if he's going to be back. An update is that he's on the grass, so they could really be fielding a very, very weak defense, or at least one that is not looking like it's going to be very strong. So I think definitely Liverpool can get at Arsenal this game. So I'm not super confident starting Gabriel. But I also think it's the home fixture for Arsenal. So I am a bit on the fence on this. I could very well switch it around and do Trent instead of Gabriel on the bench, but we'll see. For now, my most likely move is Son to Palmer. That is what I'm most likely going to do. Tyrone says 3 transfers: Saliba, Lewis, Diaz, Palmer, Solanke, and Raul Jimenez. Keep Saka, Dominic Calvert-Lewin. I guess that works, but I don't think Solanke is kind of a necessary sell. I'm assuming you're selling him because you want to get Cole Palmer into your team. I'm not super happy with those moves, to be frank. Not super happy with those. Arsenal need Saka more than Spurs need Son right now. I think that's fair. Is Garnacho a good option for selling Saka for with the good fixtures coming up for Manchester United? Yes, I do think so. But I also think that you can keep Saka. I don't think he's a must sell. What has happened to Son? He is nursing a bit of an injury that is going to keep him out. VJ, thank you very much for this super chat. Good luck with the charity drive. Excellent cause. Yes, we are doing a charity drive on the channel. If you guys aren't subscribed, you're watching and you aren't subscribed, all you have to do is hit the subscribe button, and I will be donating more money to Mindset Charity, which is a mental health charity drive, something that is very close to my heart. So if it's something that you want to contribute to as well, all you have to do is hit the subscribe button, and I will be donating more money to charity. Sell Trent and Son, which I've owned from Game Week 1, for Vardiol and Foden. Vardiol I'm okay with. I think Foden is a bit risky. Like after the Southampton game, I think you will start to worry about his minutes. If you're an FPL player or FPL manager that is okay with the risk involved with Foden, by all means. I brought him in, that's what happened. Views on Maddison, will he start? I think Maddison will. It was a bit of a tactical decision, right, to take him off last week. Edwin, nice to see you as well. Hello from KL. How's dinner? Dinner was good. Bryce says, sell Trent and Son. Oh, sorry, I've answered this already. I have to play one of Smith Rowe and Buonanotte this week. Tricky. This one is tricky. I probably lean Buonanotte based on current form. Probably lean Buonanotte. Watkins to Vissa to bring in Foden for a -4, worth it? Definitely not. Wouldn't do that. Naren says, Leon, will Son start the match? It is unlikely. That is according to Ange Postecoglou. Mbuemo triple captain this week. I don't think I would do that. In fact, I think I would triple captain. I'm closer to triple cap. If I had the triple captainship still, I would be closer to triple captaining Haaland than I would be to triple captain Mbuemo. Bench Garnacho, Solanke, or McNeil? Has to be McNeil, right? I mean, Garnacho, good fixture. Solanke as well. Has to be McNeil, I think. Vissa or Jimenez? I prefer Vissa, right? But the thing is, we don't have a conclusive update on Vissa. So I was hoping for that, but now it doesn't really apply to me. I was hoping for a conclusive update on Vissa, but I don't think we really got that. So it doesn't also really apply to my team right now because I think I'm forced to do Son to Palmer. So at this point, I think that is more what I'm kind of focusing on for my team. Saka to Garnacho, I don't mind it, but I don't think it's something that you need to do. Because I do think like Saka would be fine to hold if you kind of read the Arteta codes and if you view that he's going to start. I mean, for what it's worth, Arteta did kind of, give a pre-interview kind of earlier in the week to say that He doesn't think Saka is likely to play against Liverpool. And then obviously reports come out after that Saka kind of trained. And then there was a couple of accounts on Twitter, quite reliable ones as well, that said that Saka trained. And then in the most recent press conference today, Arteta said that Saka is on the grass. So I mean, however you interpret that, it depends on how you view it, whether you can keep Saka or not. So if your Raptor is in the chat, nice to see you, Ross. Always very, very nice to have you on stream. Keen to know your moves as well, Ross. I saw the team selection video. Keen to know your final decisions. If you were wildcarding, would you bring Foden in? If I was wildcarding, I think the Southampton fixture is really good and I would be tempted by it, but I would always have it at the back of my mind that after the Southampton game, I will be very worried about Foden's minutes. So would I have him? I think the upside is definitely there. I think I would, because of the Southampton game that looks so tough to turn down. But I don't think he would be someone that I'm going to be very willing to keep long term. He's definitely going to be a short term option if I include him on my wildcard. Raul Jimenez, a good differential. Yes, I don't mind Raul Jimenez, but I would have Vissa as well as Cunha slightly ahead of Raul Jimenez. Like, his numbers have been really good. Like, Raul Jimenez, in terms of expected goal involvement, has been putting up really good numbers. I think it's 2.41, if not 2.39 across the past 6 game weeks, and that is the highest when you compare it to the other kind of similar priced forwards. So I do think, Raul Jimenez, he's good in terms of XGI as well. But when I look at the fixtures and the time horizon that I guess you would need for this kind of a forward spot, where typically you wouldn't want to kind of change this forward that often. So because of that, I do think you would kind of want to set and forget this forward, in which case the Wolves assets, I think, have a longer term horizon in your team. So I probably prefer that, but I don't mind him as a bit of a differential. Something else also that I think about when it comes to Raul Jimenez is also whether he would be on penalties, because Andreas Pereira took the last penalty and missed. And you would remember that before that one, Raul Jimenez took it because Andreas Pereira was the one who won the penalty, but he was kind of, the one that got a bit injured in the foul. So Jimenez took that one. The one that followed, Andreas took it and missed. So it makes me think whether is Raul Jimenez going to be on the next penalty, right? So just something that's at the back of my mind. Haaland makes more sense, but I have Salah team going high risk. Well, I do think, all right, let me have a look at the triple captaincy poll. 65% of you guys aren't triple captaining Haaland this week. 35% are. I think there will be a decent chunk of you guys that are triple captaining him still. I don't mind it, and if you are keen on it, I wouldn't recommend against as well. I just do think that for those who are in a situation where you're just not super confident of it, I don't mind just delaying it later on. Haaland, at the end of the day, I feel is not the only player that you can use your triple captainship on. There's always Palmer against Southampton, for example, Palmer against Leicester, and even Salah, obviously, is a triple captain option as well. So I don't think that now, at this point in time, it's kind of a must use. So yeah, I don't mind going without the triple captain on Haaland. But yeah, if you're going for a kind of a Salah team, you really have to hope that Haaland doesn't do well. I have Dalot on the bench. Do you think I should play him over Aina, Gabriel, or McNeil? I feel if Dalot plays right back, he can contribute to the attacking points. Would I play Dalot against? I'd actually have Dalot above, right, if I'm to rank all those kind of assets there, I feel like I would play McNeil, right? So he's one I would start. Dalot versus Aina versus Gabriel. If I'm to choose one to bench between those three, Dalot has West Ham, Aina has Leicester. I don't mind benching Gabriel against Liverpool if that's your situation. Feeling lucky after 67 points last week. Yeah, 67 points is really good for last week. Replacement for Havertz, lots of cheap forward options. Cunha, my favorite one. There's also Vissa, there's also Raul Jimenez if you want to go different. Garnacho, McNeil, Kulusevski, who are you picking? I'd say Garnacho. Strand Larson or Jimenez? Strand Larson. Ross has replied, says Saka to Foden and triple captain Haaland is the plan. Going all out on this Man City fixture. Very, very nice. I hope it works out for you, Ross. Saka to Foden. I imagine Foden wouldn't be a long-term option. Or do you plan to keep him for as long as you can? I like the triple captain on Haaland though. Hopefully it works out. Thoughts on Højlund. So I did have Højlund in the kind of transfer tips video that I did this week. I put him in there as a bit of a, I guess, a special mention. I put him there as a special mention because not just as a knee-jerk that he returned in kind of game week 8, but also I think the fixtures are there for Manchester United moving forward, and also he feels like he will be ahead of Xerxes. So I think in terms of starts, he should be fine. And I also do think like moving forward, the fixtures are there. So I don't mind him. The only thing that puts me off him is the price point. I don't really know if he's worth the, I think he's at 6.9 now. I don't think he's worth that kind of a price point. And I think other players, even Cunha at a little bit cheaper, like 6.5 million, or at 6 million, like Chris Wood, for example, are much more worth the amount of price that we are paying for them. So I just do think like that's what I would do. But if you want to go for Højlund and you have a gut feel, don't let me put you off it. Kulusevski or McNeil, who do you favor? Kulusevski. Oscar, thank you very much for becoming a Tier 1 member. Welcome to the family. 8 Nuri or Aina. If I'm to bring in one this week, I think it's 8 Nuri. Any Saka news? We know that he trained. But that's about what we know. Like, we don't really know if he's going to start. We don't really know if he is, fully fit. All we know is he's had some minutes on the grass. What to do with 3 marked players? Saka, Greaves, and Ujo. It depends if you need to use those spots. Like if you need to use any of these players, I think McNeil is fine. Sorry. If you need to use any of these players, Saka, I think it's fine to just keep and hold. Greaves, if you need to use that spot, I prefer to upgrade that kind of a position to someone like 8 Nuri, for example, not too far away from Greaves' price point. Oscar says, thanks for persuading me out of the Boomo triple captain. Wanted to make up for the -4 for replacing Son. I see. Nah, I wouldn't do that. I think there are better options later down the line. Dominic Calvert-Lewin or McNeil to start. Dominic Calvert-Lewin has been really disappointing, right? Tricky, because I mean he is the one that is on penalties, right? But McNeil, the one with the better form. I think I'd still say Calvert-Lewin, just for the pens. What to do with Son? You just brought him in. If you're in a position where you can hold Son, like I know you may have just transferred him in, but if your bench is good enough and you don't want to take a -4, I think you can bench him. Yeah, it's not the worst thing in the world. You mentioned Vardiel for Greaves on your Instagram channel. Yes, I did. But I think now I am more likely to kind of do Son to Palmer. I think that is more likely what I do, because I think there's greater potential or at least higher upside with that move. And also, I mean, Varial's fixtures moving forward are quite tricky. Like after this Southampton game, so I don't mind. I mean, and clean sheets wise as well, like it worries me a little bit, Man City. How about some likes? Yes, if you guys are watching and you haven't liked, please do drop a like on the stream. That would really help the channel. There's about 167 of you guys watching. Thank you all for tuning in. If you are watching and you aren't subscribed as well, please do subscribe to the channel. Diaz to Fernandez, Gabriel to Lewis. I don't really like the Fernandez pick, I have to say. Vardy or Jimenez or some other forward within the 6.0 million price. Can you afford Chris Wood? If he's 6 million, I'm not sure if he's 6.1 or 6 million now. Let me have a look. Not sure if he rose in price. $6.3, too expensive now. Maybe at 6 million, I think cheaper. There is Raul Jimenez. There's also Strand Larsen if you want to go there. Sold Saka to get Son. I have Ahmad on the bench and one substitution left. If you have one more transfer, do you have enough money to upgrade Ahmad? If you do, I'll probably do that as your second transfer. Then I'll keep Son on the bench. Solanke out for Wood, what do you think? I don't think it's necessary. I think it's fine to hold on to Solanke. Thoughts on Saka to Salah? I mean, the fixtures don't really excite me. I think this also answers Nicholas' question as well. Thoughts on the Egyptian king? I think Salah's a great asset to have, and he also seems as if he's going to come back into form soon. But the only thing I would think about is the fixtures. Like now in game week 9, it's not great. It's Arsenal. Albeit the games that they have coming up, though it's tough, it's mostly at home. So Anfield is except the Arsenal one, which is now in game week 9, they play at the Arsenal Stadium. But aside from that, the other ones against, I think, Brighton as well as Aston Villa, they're all at Anfield. So I do think like Saka's fixtures is a bit of a mixed bunch, I would say. If you aren't super confident in going Son to Palmer, for example, and you want Salah, I want to put you off it as well. And it makes me think as well now, like, should I go for Salah instead? I think I do have enough money in the bank for Salah. Nah, not enough. Right, so Son to Salah is off the cards for me. So I think honestly, I'm quite cornered into the move that I have to make, which is Son to Palmer. Unfortunately, I would have liked to have the option of Son to Salah as well. Who do you bench? Trent, Gabriel, or 8 Nuri? If I'm to bench one, I would bench either Trent or Gabriel. Probably Trent. Thanks for the reply to my comment in one of your videos warning me Son was a possible issue. Glad I delayed the transfer. Yeah, all good. Happy to help. I mean, there was always going to be more news on Son. So yeah, I mean, best to wait until just before the deadline. Should I take a -4 from João Pedro to Wissa? Just replace Saka with Son yesterday. Seems like you want to keep Son, which I don't mind. Like, I think he's back in. I wouldn't say I'm sure he's back for next week, but it doesn't seem super serious that it's going to keep him out for really long. So I wouldn't mind just holding on to Son if you've already replaced Saka with Son. And then take a -4 from João Pedro to Vissa. I guess it could work, right? But I do think like come game week 12, you will want Brighton assets again. But then again, João Pedro is flagged at the moment, so he's flagged, and I don't think he will be back soon. We'll wait to hear more news about João Pedro from Hertzler, but at least for now, and also Welbeck is a bit of a concern as well. So hopefully either one of them comes back. I do think like Welbeck is slightly closer to a recovery than João Pedro. But yeah, João Pedro to Vissa for a -4, I guess it's alright, but I would try to go for a longer term asset if I'm taking a -4, like maybe Cunha for example, or Strand Larsen. Then will you keep Saka and roll, or Saka and Eze to Palmer and McNeil? Thanks. If it's for free, I don't mind doing Saka and Eze to Palmer and McNeil. Son replacements, there's other premiums. There's Palmer, I guess. There is also Salah. Which formation do you favor in the upcoming game weeks? 3-4-3 or 3-5-2? I think very soon, most people would transition to a 3-5-2, if I'm being honest, because I do think like the midfield premium options will soon start to become the players that we want moving forward. And I also think there's an opportunity to go without Haaland coming up very, very soon. So now I think it is a 3-4-3 still, but I think very soon it will shift to a 3-5-2. Is Diaz starting? It seems, I mean, this is based off of predictions that I've seen on Twitter. It seems as if he will. Are you getting rid of Havertz, or are you going to keep him in the next 3 game weeks? For this week, I'm definitely not getting rid of Havertz. I think I have to do Son to Palmer. I think I missed the question that I wanted to answer. Which team do you support in FPL? In Premier League, and does it affect your decisions in FPL? So I support Chelsea, and as you can see, it doesn't affect any of my decisions in FPL simply because I have to play without any biases. The points come for the teams that are doing well, and if my team is not doing well, then I can't be selecting the players that I have. I can't be selecting the players that I support just because I want to have them in my team. FPL for me is a bit of a separate game as compared to who I support in real life. Like, I am a Chelsea fan and I do wish that they do well, but then if they're not doing well, then I'm fine to just go without Chelsea players. That said, I'm happy that at this point in time Chelsea are doing pretty well, and as I've said, Son to Palmer is something that I'm very likely to do. I'm just waiting until closer to the deadline. And also, there's a bit of technical kind of limitations in that this is a screenshot that you're seeing, and I can't really kind of play around with the image. So this is basically a screenshot, but I think after the stream, I will be updating you guys on the Instagram channel. So if you aren't already, head over to the FPL Consult Instagram at FPL_consult and follow the broadcast channel. That is where I post all the updates that I have with regards to my team. The moment I make a transfer, you would know because I will post it in that channel. So I think I'm more likely to do Son to Palmer, basically. And I wouldn't let the team bias affect me much, but it's great that I'm going to have Palmer because now I can support Palmer, and also him being from Chelsea is just double the happiness. Vissa, Larsen or Cunha? This one is a good question. I'm going to lean Cunha for now still because of the penalties. So I'd say Cunha. Son to Cole Palmer, yes, that's what I'm gonna do. FPL Yellow Army, nice to see you here. Play 2 of Trent, Gabriel, and Semedo. Wow, so Semedo has been doing really well. I'd say I bench either one of Trent and Gabriel, but it's tough to choose between one. For now, I have Gabriel ahead of Trent, so I probably say bench Trent, but it's not. It's close. It's close. Is Son out? It's unlikely he will start. Right, I will be streaming for another, I guess, 5 to 10 minutes. Unfortunately, I can't stream as long as I would like to. I think we've been going for, let me just check. We've been going for about 38 minutes, about 40 minutes. So we'll do about 5 to 10 more minutes. If you guys haven't gotten your questions in the chat, drop it in the chat and I will get to all of your questions as best as I can. And then we'll kind of end the stream. I will update you guys on the Instagram broadcast channel. Will you consider Nuri? Most definitely. But I'm not, in a rush to get him now because he plays Brighton now in Game Week 9. Georgino Rutter. Brighton's fixtures really only excite me from Game Week 12 onwards, if I'm honest. So I don't think I would be going or in a rush to get any Brighton assets now in Game Week 9, despite the, I guess, goodish fixture for them. It's Wolves. But yeah, I'm not in a rush to get them. Who do you think would make a good replacement for Gabriel? I want to say Vardiol, but I also am not super confident of clean sheets moving forward for them. So I think Nuri. I think he's a great replacement for any of your premium defenders right now. Forced to play my bench, Robinson of Fulham or Winks of Leicester. Definitely Fulham. Definitely Robinson. Toby, nice to see you in the chat. VJ as well. Ahmad says, sell Son, Watkins, Gabriel, and buy Haaland, Nuri, and McNeil for a -4. If you're buying him to captain him, I guess it would make sense. Martin, nice to see you in the chat. Always a pleasure. -4 to go from Semenyo to Buonanotte and bench Dominic Calvert-Lewin before Buonanotte's price rise tonight. Nah. I wouldn't take a -4 to go Semenyo to Buonanotte. I just start Semenyo. Vista Larson or Cunha? I like Cunha the best. Which two to start from Eze, Rogers, and McNeil? I'd say Eze and Rogers. Trent to Ryan and Nuri. Diaz to Foden, Son to Palmer for a -4. Those actually look like really good moves, to be honest. To Foden, Diaz to Foden, Son to Palmer, Trent to Ryan and Nuri. Yeah, I don't mind those moves, even if it's for a -4. Would you transfer Saka to Palmer for a -4? No, wouldn't do that. Are you in the FPL cartel? Is there a secret handshake? Well, unfortunately, if it even exists, I'm not in any cartel. I did make the Saka to Son move last week, but that was independent of any, kind of information. I just made it based on the fact that come Game Week 9, I would want to be selling Saka. And Son at that point in time was fit, so and he had really good fixture, so it made sense then. Obviously now I'm transferring him out, so not ideal. Just transferring out a player that I just brought in. But I think that's just the way it is, right? We have to be adaptable to the news that we get. Which would you prefer to have for this week, Gabriel/Havertz, and who is their ideal replacement? I'm more comfortable having Havertz for the next 3 than I am of Gabriel. So if I'm to sell Gabriel, for example, then I would look at other, Variol is one that you can consider, but I think Nuri is likely one of the best replacements that you can go for right now. 50 likes achieved. Thank you all very, very much. And I think we're gonna call it a day. I think we're gonna leave it at that. It's been 40 minutes. I'm happy and thankful that I was able to get a stream out because again I am traveling and I'm just basically not with my usual setup, but I'm thankful that I got the stream out. This is not my final team. If you're rewatching this on this on replay, this is not my final team. I'm going to do Son to Palmer just before the deadline. I should have done it before the stream, but I didn't manage to take a screenshot of the transfer. I just want a little bit more time to think about it. But yes, Son to Palmer is the most likely move. Follow on Instagram, the broadcast channel, to know exactly when I make the move, but it'll be before the Game Week 9 deadline. If not, let me just leave it at that. I'll leave it at that. Thank you all for tuning in. And yeah, all the best for Game Week 9. It is one of the first few kind of Friday deadlines that we've had in a while. So Friday night football. Hopefully you guys enjoy it. I will be watching that one because I have Chris Wood and Nottingham Forest will be playing Leicester. So hopefully Chris Wood continues to smash it like he has been doing. If not, I will catch you guys in more Game Week 10 content. Everything will be back to normal from Game Week 10 content onwards, because I will be back in Singapore with the usual setup. Right, so let me just make sure that I haven't missed any questions. Do I think there is a slight chance Son will play? I think it's very unlikely that he will play. I'd say less than 1%. Because Postecoglou is always very transparent with us. If he's not fit, or if he is even a doubt, he will be transparent with us. So when he says that it is unlikely Son will feature, I take it at face value. Palmer captain is good or bad? Not this week, I'd say. Should I make a second transfer from Harvard to Solanke? Not necessary. I don't think I would be in a rush to do that. Alright, so I'll leave it at that. Thank you for tuning in. Thankful to get a stream out as well, and I'll catch you in the Game Week 10 content. All the best for Game Week 9, and I'll see you very, very soon. Bye-bye.